Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's 11 o'clock. This is like Fajr for MSA people. So, mashallah, jazakallah khair for all of you for making it out here, bright and early and on time. Let me be among the first to welcome you to the 52nd Annual ISNA Convention and the MSA National Convention Conference in my hometown of Chicago. I thank you on behalf of our esteemed panel today for starting your day with us. And I believe this session is really going to bring about some new ideas, some new ways of thinking, and inshallah will just change your heart just a little bit. As we think about the theme of this conference and we celebrate and strengthen the American Muslim narrative, we do, of course, have reason for celebration. We do have successes as a community. Our growth as a community, our voice as a community, our reach as a community. Alhamdulillah. At the same time, we need to pause and reflect on the challenges of today, as they are quite different from the challenges of the past. Our grandparents and parents, in some cases, or even our own generation, lived in this country in a much simpler time. Years ago, we had masjids to build. We had Islamic schools to kind of start to establish. We had halal grocery stores to open. We even had Islamic banking to think about starting and developing. Never did we really take the time to look into our own community issues that were within. It seems to me if we did this, it was very limited. We really were so concerned about the external issues. So what I mean by that is the us versus them. We were concerned about us Muslims, we need this and this and this to live in this non-Muslim environment and these surroundings. We need influences, we need to worry about the influences that impacted our deen, like how our children were doing and how they were managing in school and in college, our well-being with our neighbors, our value and our equity in the workplace as hard-working citizens, Muslim citizens in a non-Muslim country. Our focus was all about how we could live, function, and thrive within this community, while maintaining our Islamic values, of course. That was the primary concern. I ask you to think for a moment about those valid challenges of the past and now understand that we have not solved them, but we have made progress in those areas, and we do have people working on those challenges in those areas. But as of today, new challenges, and our discussion here that we need to consider are those that are more internal, those that are within our own community. Making spaces for all Muslims, what does that really mean? It means taking pause and looking around at your own community, really looking at your own community, all your community. We are so diverse, and we really talk admirably about the diversity in Islam. But do we really embrace it? In our everyday lives, that elderly person who just sits in the corner, Jummah after Jummah, are we addressing his needs? How about that sister in the masjid that volunteers relentlessly for everything? However, she may seldom be heard, even if she has great ideas. The person who is disabled or sick, who cannot even access our community on a regular basis, that everybody forgets about. That revert new Muslim brother who feels awkward and he doesn't fit in with his newfound family, his new brothers in Islam. How do we begin to understand them all, let alone making a space for all of them? We need to dig deep into our hearts to find a place where we as humans have a need to be a part of something. Inclusion, by definition, is being a part of where everyone else is. It's taking part in a group or a structure and feeling a part of something. This structure can be your MSA, it can be your masjid, or your neighborhood. However, we are challenged by this as a community right now, thus the birth of a term, unmasked. I grew up in England as a young child, and then from there, here in the US, and in all my life, I had never even heard the term unmasked. Until recently, what is this phenomenon? And how do we turn it around? Are you unmasked? Think about it. Am I unmasked? Is being unmasked just staying away from the masjid altogether or from your Muslim peers at large? Or is it just that these unmasked individuals are far away from their religion? Do they really want to feel that way? Likely the answer is no. In their own words, they're saying that they are not feeling welcome. They have a notion of what role the community should play in their lives, yet their needs are not being met in that community. If it's the new Muslim brother, he prays and he leaves the masjid. You've seen him, you've all seen him. And no one really tries to speak to him or attempts to socialize with him beyond shaking his hand and saying salam. If it's the individual with that disability, maybe he or she perhaps can't participate in a conventional way. They aren't included or accommodated at most events. I go back to my original point about looking internally at the community, taking a break from just the external challenges. Who is around you? What are their needs? What are they looking for? And we find that very often when we allow these isolated individuals into our communities and access to our beautiful communities, they have so much to offer. They bring ideas, skills, strengths that you would never even know unless you reach out to them, to these unmasked individuals. The ideal utopian community that follows the sunnah of our beloved Prophet ﷺ would be an example. He ﷺ transformed people, and he created a model community through his actions and his interactions. And he taught us, and we just need to take that lead. We have the answers. We just need to take that lead. As I close my introduction, I want to share with you the amazing work being done by a newly formed organization called MOHSEN, Muslims Understanding and Helping Special Education Needs, which was born out of an effort to open up our communities to a beautiful, often unmasked group of people. At MOHSEN, we strive to improve the lives and to promote inclusion of the individuals and families who are impacted by special needs and disabilities, doing this through awareness, accommodation, and acceptance. We create programs, services to serve this group well, alhamdulillah. Today, as we stand here, young, vibrant, and healthy, some younger than others, we don't often think of a disability or an illness as something that can impact our lives. You don't wake up in the morning and think about disability. Please know this is not the case. Disability can come about at birth. It can come about by an illness or an injury. It can even be onset by old age. We are seeing here at this convention, the first time ever providing such services, that it runs the gamut from young to old. And anyone, anywhere can be affected by this, and their lives can change in the blink of an eye. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Once in this situation, our interactions and our dealings and our movements and everything around us can change, and oftentimes do change. MOHSEN serves this population, and you can too, in the MSAs, in your masajid, by getting involved. Look for cards when you exit the room, visit our booth, and inshallah, you'll reap the rewards that come with serving this group also. My fellow presenters and respected scholars need no introduction. However, I must proudly say that we are blessed. The founder of MOHSEN is Sheikh Omar Suleiman, And our advisor is Mufti Hussain Kamani, who will be joining us. He had a conflict, he'll be here. Both very, very busy individuals who give this issue the importance, the guidance, and the voice that it really needs. Please learn more about us, how to start programs with us in your area, while making spaces for all Muslims. And now, just please give a short few minutes of your attention to this video clip that will tell you why we need MOHSEN. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Omar Sulaiman. This is truly a dream come true, just to be a part of a promo about MOHSEN after all these years of planning and getting it together and just envisioning, subhanAllah, what it would be like for the Muslim community to have an effort, an initiative that goes out there and re-mosques, an often forgotten group of unmasked individuals and unmasked families, in fact, that have people that have children, that have people in their families that have these special needs and that have these disabilities.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Arshi Ali Khan, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my brother.
I want to take this time to talk to you about my daughter Serena, who is mashallah 6.5 now, and she's a bright, loving, kind, fun child who has this great toothless smile right now that she lost her tooth, and she also has cerebral palsy.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Joohi Tahir, I'm 15 years old, and I have a sister named Mehreen, and she's great at basketball, she's a whiz at the computers, she loves to eat, and she has autism spectrum disorder.
When I was 19 years old, my brother was diagnosed with a mental illness, an invisible disability. At the time, there was no community support or religious outlets that we could turn to for help. So instead of being supported, we felt alienated and shamed.
There are so many families that are affected by this in our community, and we just don't see them, subhanAllah, because they're buried away. While we're enjoying our khutbahs and we're enjoying our halaqas and we're enjoying all the great activities in the masjid, these families have been completely barred from the masjid, and when they set foot in the masjid, it's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. So for many families, we're not just talking about those that have needs and disabilities, many families, the masjid has become a place to resent, because when they walk in there, all they get are the dirty looks, all they get are the, go home sentiments, rather than this is your home, because the masjid is the home of every believer, as the Prophet ﷺ said.
We just need a little extra help. We need a little extra support. We need a little understanding, but inshallah, we can get there. There's no reason not to. It's not asking for a lot. It's just asking for a little bit of acceptance, a little bit of sensitivity. And I think an organization like MOHSEN is the perfect vehicle to do that, inshallah.
I pray for the success of MOHSEN, because had there been an organization that was around for us to connect to, that provided awareness, acceptance, and guidance, perhaps my brother wouldn't have been left alone. Perhaps my mom wouldn't have put herself to bed crying day in and day out. Perhaps families like ours would have had a place to go and people to support them through it.
What helps me get through everything when we're going through a struggle with Mehreen is that thinking that Mehreen is an angel, and if we hold on to a sinless angel like Mehreen, inshallah, she will help us on the day of judgment, and she will take us to Jannah, inshallah. And I would like other people to feel the same way.
Inshallah ta'ala, through MOHSEN, we can begin to show ihsan to them, and hopefully we can make the masjid more comfortable for them, and they can make our day of judgment more comfortable for us by testifying on our behalf that we truly did ease the way for them.
If you or anybody in your family don't have somebody that you know with a disability, it might be hard for you to understand what we may be going through, but there's so much you can do to help. You can spread awareness, and just being kind to somebody with a disability, or a family with a disability, and be kind to them and welcoming to them, that'll make them feel really happy. Also, you can volunteer to watch them while the family gets involved in masjid activities.
I have been blessed and honored to develop and work for the Ummah Center, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering the lives of the underserved, the alienated, the disenfranchised, the poor. We provide education empowerment programs and basic need programs. And with every person that I have fed, educated, clothed, and served, I pray deep down that there is someone out there doing the same for my brother.